If a man could always do that, I think it solves 80% of problem in life.
I think what people want to hear, I don't think people care if it's shearing sheep or turning the wool into yarn or turning the yarn into crochet. Like, I think they like the depth of conversation about whatever the topic is. So
I think so.
That seems to be what hits for us pretty well.
Are you about ready? We don't want Dad to give out all of his good content before we get started.
Oh, we've been recording for a bit.
Yeah,
We're live.
good.
So.
Nice.
Really?
Andrew's got his B-roll.
I gotta get it started.
Oh, by the way, should this mic be super close to my mouth
Yes,
like this?
as
Oh,
close
okay.
as possible. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I think, can you hear, are you picking up? Because we don't have
Yes.
We don't
feedback
have our headphones on.
with the headphones.
I'm paying attention to it. I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Away we go.
Away we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Jeff Heilman Project. And we are honored today to have a very special guest. And her name is T. And I want to pronounce it correctly. Do you pronounce it Liu?
Oh, yeah. But should I say my phone name?
Sure, please.
What do you go by?
Well, my phone name is Tongalag Liu, but make it simple, some people call me T.
Okay.
And you have, if you could let us know, what is your podcast? What is it that you're specializing in?
Well, I specialize in dating, relationship, love, and my podcast is one of the projects in this area I'm doing. My podcast is called the Dating Chit, and the
As
goal,
in chit chat?
yeah, as in chit chat.
Okay.
Probably not the best name, but it's kind of a cute and casual.
It is
It's
cute and
catchy.
casual.
It's catchy.
It's
It
awesome.
works.
So the goal is to provide insights and real life information so people can date and love better, smarter, with actual facts.
Did you go to school for psychology or relationships or?
Not really, but it's been something I really been curious about for a long time, ever since my first relationship in my 20s. And I think that relationship got me really caught to the importance of learning relationship, how it works, and why. There's a lot of whys,
Yeah.
right? So I've been learning all along the way, and still a lot to learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to me to see the way that technology has disrupted traditional businesses
how
that have been
people meet.
around for a long time. And you can look at how people meet, like dating apps, right? I guess I wouldn't know. 'cause I don't have any dating apps.
But
That's a disruption from the traditional sense, right? But also education and how, Jessica and I aren't certified in anything. I mean, but what we have done is we have put together a bunch of different frameworks, things that have worked for us, things that we've tested and seen work effectively. And so because of that, we get results. And from those results, we double down. And then from that, you build competence. So it's not to say that we're against traditional certified, I don't know if dating coach, but maybe a marriage and family counselor, I guess, could be along the lines of a more traditional certified person. But I don't think you need to be a certified doctorate in marriage and family counseling to amalgamate or push together a bunch of information, becoming a functional expert at something and be passionate about it and still add value through the medium of like podcasts and blogs and things like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. How good a person is, how well this person possesses certain type of knowledge in what type of area really has nothing to do with whether this person has some degree or paperwork from it, right? Yeah.
I mean, Kylie Jenner doesn't have a PhD in chemistry to know what kind of cosmetics are going to be the best, but she sells hundreds of millions of dollars a year of cosmetics because of her expertise in that area and obviously her brand and the recognition of her brand and her following. So that's an example of something like you have, the FDA certifies food, stuff you put on your body, things you eat, and so you can hire a lot of that out in order to pass for things where certifications are required. But if you have influence because of expertise, because of passion, because of a certain special niche knowledge. So I have a bunch of questions here, but I would love to just start with hearing your story of, how did this transition into something that you wanted to do, either full-time or part-time? And then where did your internet kind of influence story and journey begin?
Wow, that's a really good question. Yeah. I mean, I have been doing completely set up different things in my past chapter, right?
Okay.
So I really did not foresee I'd be diving professionally into this area at all. Mm-hmm. And I am so happy of doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
The reason I started the whole thing was because, I moved to America, Bay Area, about more than 4 years ago during COVID.
Wow, that's a tough time to...
Yes.
Tough time to know, or whether it's dating or just going
anything.
grocery shopping. It
Yeah,
was
I
a
know,
tough time
seriously,
to
just
be in
anything, connection.
a new country. Yeah.
Yeah, just connection in general. And coming here, the culture clash and the expectations, it's a completely different world from me, which I did not expect to be this case. It's very challenging. I'm like, oh, wow, am I in the right spot? But, I'm here, so I will make the best of it.
What do you notice? Obviously, this is the lead-in question, and I don't want to interrupt your story if you had a thought that you're on there. But when you look at dating coming to the U.S., what do you notice is like the biggest kind of slap in the face from culture shock perspective when it comes to dating?
I think first, because I date men, so I would say I know more about men, right?
Right.
That's my observation. I feel I can expect, men are different no matter where you go. But in China, you kind of sort of able to predict and expect, you know what to expect from Chinese men in China.
Patterns of behavior are pretty similar.
Yeah, and their values of what they want from you.
Yeah.
What they value in you. It's largely the same, to be honest.
Really?
And coming here, it's left and right. It's all over the places. Yeah. So that's a shock to me. It's just like I'm never prepared. Like it's always a surprise. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know any different, but yes, I would say.
Yeah, Jessica and I have been out of the dating business for many, many years. We literally met and got married before the internet.
You two are so lucky.
Yes.
Your generation is very lucky.
But I don't feel like I have a bunch of people that are in my generation that don't have that story.
Oh,
it's
right.
Strange,
they got divorced and now they have to date again, right?
Or they just waited to get married until they were in their 20s or 30s sometimes. We got married very young and had a lot of kids over a long period of time. But I feel almost like my great-grandpa's generation because there was no dating apps. There was no mobile phones.
I love it.
People didn't have.
I miss it.
People didn't have cell phones. I didn't get a cell phone. I had one friend that had a cell phone when Jessica and I got married. Out of hundreds of people that I went to high school with,
they still had car phones when we got married. And
they
that was,
oh, you had car phones?
Car phones existed, but I didn't know anybody that had one.
Because those cars were too nice.
Christopher, who was a former guest on our podcast, he was the only guy that I knew that had a cell phone.
Yeah.
I knew one person that had a cell phone. So not only was there no cell phones, there's no internet, there's no dating apps wouldn't come around for another 10, 12 years. And so really, if you look at it, your dating pool was fairly limited.
And that was enough.
You might have 5 or 10 people that are viable candidates in a pool of a high school graduating class of a couple hundred people. And maybe if you went to college, you would extend that more. Of course, Jessica and I didn't go to college. Well, you went to junior college for about a semester, and I went for like a week. But
I can definitely vouch that all men, it would appear, in America are different.
All men in America are different.
There's nothing predictable about any of them.
Really?
So you come to the U.S. in 2020, 2022?
2021.
2021. Yeah. I'm trying to think. COVID, I think we've agreed from previous conversations. COVID started about April 15th of 2020, and then I think October 2023 was like officially ended.
I think so.
Not 2023.
Right,
I'm sorry, 2022. October 2022. It officially, World Health Organization kind of agrees that middle of October of 2022 was the end of it. So you came right in the middle of it. You had another year plus of time in the U.S. with COVID being, we weren't on house arrest. I'm sorry, what's it called? Lockdown, house arrest. There's a
curfew.
There's another name for it. Shelter in place.
Oh yeah.
I think shelter in place had been lifted, but people are still wearing masks everywhere on planes.
Yes,
in restaurants.
You have to wear masks.
And what were you here for work? Were you doing something for work or?
No, I was. Before this, I was also an entrepreneur. I started my business in China, and a lot of things changed during COVID. For me personally, my health, my relationship, and to my business. And I had opportunity just to think what to do with my life, to be honest. First of all, I need to stop working for a while to restore my health. So that's a reason that I want to go to a place that is not China. And a place that is beautiful. Allows me to.
California fits the bill pretty well, I think, for that. This is a pretty beautiful place, for sure.
Yeah, and I really didn't have too many places on my mind to select from. Really, it was COVID.
I can imagine.
Countries were closed, borders were closed. Yeah,
that's right. So you come to the U.S. in 2021, and then were you working? Did you get a work visa, or did you have your business right away, or how was that difficult for you to create an income and start working, or was that difficult?
It wasn't difficult because I sold my portfolio, and that allows me to come here. And it wasn't a planning or anything. It was no expectation of coming here. It's more like, let's go there and just change the scenery and see what's going on.
Yeah.
I just want to take some walks and go to the lake or ocean, doing something. That's all I wanted.
And are you based here, San Jose?
No, I was in San Carlos.
In San Carlos, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I bought a plane ticket. I came here just on my tourist visa. That's it. I just did not plan anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've been here 4 years now. So when you look at, as a dating coach, I honestly, I don't know enough to even start asking a lot of questions about that as a business or profession. But is that a full-time employment, or are you working up to be full-time to do it as a dating coach, or where are you in the journey of kind of, this is going to be my thing that I'm going to do? It sounds like you're on your way and doing it, and you've got podcasts already now under your belt. And
yeah. So as you mentioned, you're not certified of anything, but you were able to use your experience, your knowledge to create your framework, to educate your kids, to run your family and business, right? So I admire that. I'm the same way. I did not go certified to be any relationship coach or anything, but I was able to, using my more than 20 years experience and knowledge, to come up with my own framework that I think that really matters to precisely today's dating and love-seeking process.
And tell us as outsiders to that world, how's it going out there? How's the dating life? What's it like?
Well, you don't need to hear from me. Everybody else tells you.
The bars and restaurants seem to be full of people looking to, young and single likes to mingle, right?
Yeah. People are trying. It's really hard, but still trying. But it's kind of, I think people come with mixed feelings. Some people feel really exhausted, beat up, and you still have to date, and they will get off apps for a while, and they will try in person, and they will get back on the apps again or try different apps. It's a struggle out there, and I get this feedback a lot, to be honest.
One of the big things we're seeing right now is in-person events with no phone. Like, phones are not permitted in the room. Mixers, where it's almost like an antidote to AI and technology, to where people have 50 or 100 people in a room, and there may be an open bar with alcohol. There may not be alcohol served, but it's a chance to network. It's a chance to speed date, and there's no phones allowed. And those seem to be doing really well.
Yes, a lot of people are organizing those kind of events, and people are going.
They are going because they want that connection, because that's part of human nature that doesn't go away generation to generation. One of the things that you were talking about with your podcast on your most recent podcast, which just a quick plug for T's podcast. It's called The Dating Chit, and you can see it on YouTube. I think it's also on podcasts.
Yeah, Apple
Podcasts,
and Spotify, wherever you can listen.
Wherever podcasts are sold, you can go and listen. And it was actually interesting. You were talking about the guy was talking about how men are kind of encouraged to live from the neck up.
Yeah.
Versus to actually be in their body and be vulnerable. And I can say for sure, it's difficult for me to be vulnerable as a man in relationships with my family, relationship with my spouse, even friends sometimes. And I think that one of the things that I notice, and I'm interested to hear on your side as well, I see women live their lives in community with other women, and men live in a total isolation for the most part.
I've been hearing that. Yes. So I thought my conversation with Jason, my guest, was really important. I hope that brought value to my listeners, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about this concept of living life from the neck up versus like embodied? Go deep. You're pretty good at going deep in these conversations. Well, I want to hear more about your thoughts on that, or what transpired from that discussion.
I feel like that's more like a topic you can really talk about because you're a man. But from my woman's perspective, my impression is that they're men. We have social expectations of men, right? And women, we have expectations of men, and we want them to be strong, protective, to be, just man up, right?
Man up, cowboy up. They
so
say.
I think that put a lot of pressure on men in general, and they think, to be able to be that for women, just for my image, being in society, I need to, like, being emotional is the opposite of what I want to be.
You're saying?
For men. So I think maybe that's what men would think, like, I cannot show my emotion. I should not be emotional.
Can't.
Yeah.
It's separate from, it's almost like our identity won't allow it.
Yeah, so it's like you can't even cry, right? It's like you cannot show your tears at all, right? That's just a weakness.
Yeah.
In traditional sense. I'm sure it's still today, it's being perceived that way in many cases. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, like especially today, there's so many different voices left and right on social media. It's like everybody says every different things. It's hard.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the do's and don'ts. What are the do's and the don'ts in dating? I want to hear what's 26 have. What's 2026 have in the do's and don'ts of dating? I just
think, now people are dating a lot through the apps, and after you, like, even you meet somebody in person, you always on the text messages, right? I think we really should be moving beyond all the games anymore. It's like so old. Everybody knows all the games. I think being authentic is so rare now. It's like should be the new trend. Being authentic, being you, have the courage to be you, which really gives the biggest opportunity, biggest chance for you to meet the right person. Because that's the only way you will meet the right person.
Why
right?
do you think people have a hard time being authentic?
Number one is being rejected, being like worried not to be liked.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty true.
There's always somebody not going to like you,
I'm
counseling. You're counseling people on a regular basis.
I do.
And
I think
a lot of times it's around marriage and relationships and money and jobs. And
I think that as I'm listening, as a mother of 5 boys and 2 girls, having the gamut of personalities and gender, being able to, I like to treat them all as individual as possible and make sure that they understand their unique contribution and value as individuals. However, there are some common threads that I try to weave in the process of raising them, and that is emotional stability, regardless of male or female, letting my daughters recognize that we all have control over our emotions and to not let our emotions run away with us.
Oh, that's what's so important.
And then
yes.
also with the men to not to be able to be free to share their emotion, but recognize that in the marketplace, especially when the more ability that we have to be able to not be driven by our emotions, the more successful that we will be. And so I think that it is very important when you're looking for a partner or a life partner that you can be vulnerable and share your emotions with them. And I think one of the first things that you could do if you want to vet someone out or not is take them to a sappy movie or a romantic, something that there would be emotions involved, and gut check them and see how do they respond to this emotion. Because if they are going to be stoic and like uncomfortable, then you probably don't know someone who knows themselves very well. But if you go and have fun and go to a comedy where there's a lot of ups and downs and sideways, and you can pick up on the vibe on how they're going to be able to manage their emotions throughout this experience. Maybe it's a movie that you go to, or it's something where you could potentially be stupid, like going to the driving range and you're going to, your ball's going to be all over the place or something. Having a first experience in which there could be a lot of roller coastering emotions would be a really fun and easy way to say, I want to go for date number 2, or I want to go for another date, because I get to see the full range of emotions in this person, because how well they handle an emotion, because like we know, there's going to be times in marriage where things are going to be really, really hard. And there's going to be times in marriage where things are going to be really, really light. But the earlier, the better, the quicker, the faster you can get to know how that person is going to respond emotionally to a situation, the better, So
yeah, that's the best scenario. Yeah, to know someone earlier.
Yeah, to know earlier how they're, because if you just keep, like you said, if you just keep playing the game and you keep,
just going to the dinners,
and just sitting at the bar and, like you're just not going to get that whole, you're not going to be able to witness the way that they respond to things. And I know we were just talking most recently to one of Jeff's friends about like taking care of getting things marked off their own personal bucket list. And while you're doing that, like if you've always dreamed of going skydiving, go skydiving, and maybe you'll meet somebody while you're out skydiving, or go do something, whatever the wild and crazy thing is that you've always wanted to do. Go do that and see what happens and see who you attract.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And another thing, like you just reminded me your last, what you said last about, like I just think, responding to your question, Jeff's question earlier, what we should be doing like differently today in today's dating. Like apart from what I mentioned earlier about being authentic, I think another thing is going on really interesting dates.
Mm-hmm.
Like always going to. Let's not talk about like coffee dates versus dinner dates anymore, please. And like, let's come up with something interesting, have a good experience, enjoy what our surrounding has to offer. Like go skydiving, go something, fishing if you want fishing, go, surfing if you want to, like a lot of things to do.
There are a ton of things to do, especially in California. I mean,
so
you can go
stop
surfing.
arguing about coffee or dinner now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh my.
That's right.
Something else.
I'd love to hear from both of you ladies, if there was one thing that you wish men would do or not do, what would it be? God, if there's just one thing that I could get my future person or your current person to do or not do. God, they just...
In early stage of dating. Just
in
general.
stage. No, you personally, to say like, look, this is a thing that the person that I am with, I want them to do or not do.
Oh, can I go first?
Go ahead, yeah.
I think this is really important. Of course, there are many, right? There's one thing that I will find is provide the highest value in a relationship for a man to do is always tell me like, hey, honey, I feel what you just did, like, you know, like how my action influenced you, made you feel. You're able to bring that to me in the right moment and tell me right away in a
versus letting it
process it and making your own imagination.
An hour later, they're angry. And
it's more like able to have maturity and sit me down in the right moment and tell me in a really nice way, kind way, communicating that to me and have that emotional intelligence of also letting me know that matters to you because of what. So I know, oh, okay, I get it. I'm sorry. I won't be doing that again.
Right.
Yeah, so allow me to say that too, you know?
Yeah.
To recognize that. So that's really important.
To be able to move through offenses.
Yeah.
Challenges, difficulties, hurt feelings.
Yeah, if a man could always do that, I think it solves 80% of problem in life.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's I think a relationship can be defined by how and I'm not just saying a man and a woman or a man and a man or a woman and a woman in dating situations, but any relationship, business-wise, friends, lovers, a vendor, right? Any relationship, it will literally be defined by how you work through offenses and difficulties in conversation.
Yes.
I've been in situations where business-wise, you know, I've either lost a job or lost a relationship with somebody in a second because there was no reconciliation. They weren't willing to reconcile those emotions. They were just pissed off, and that's the way it is. And it's
they jumped to conclusions, had assumptions because there wasn't clarity in the conversation.
Yeah. They either make assumptions that they can't reconcile, or they have beliefs that something is a certain way, even though it may very well not be that way. But they're not willing. Like the entire relationship, years of effort, just end in an afternoon because somebody gets offended and there's no path to reconciliation. Yeah. So I think you're bringing up a really good point. And what I've found is that relationships typically die. They don't die in one day. They die death by 1,000 paper cuts. Yeah. Little offenses that build up over time, and then pretty soon that person, you just hate that person that you used to love, and now you hate them because you have all this built up animosity that doesn't get discharged through proper reconciliation.
So to that point, I have a small comment.
Tell me.
So I have a friend who told me that just no matter, like after 20 years of marriage, there's no way they can get back together anymore. They went to therapy, you know, couples marriage therapy and all that. Did that for a few months. Eventually, like, I said, okay, so what about you? What about this just can't work, even though you are talking to a third party? Like, you know, third party is supposed to be able to really let you both recognize.
You hope.
Yeah. So he said, she just told me, I dislike your face.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, I dislike your face.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Your face bothers me. What can you do with that?
Wow. That's a good one.
Okay.
And then how did the person respond? They just crumbled?
They just got divorced. What can you do after that?
Wow. Yeah. I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, first of all, I guess you could say props for being honest and authentic, but delivery could use a little work. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. That sounds very difficult to stomach if I was on the receiving end of it, and impossible to imagine saying to somebody, because I would never do that. But I mean, at least they got out of the relationship. It sounded like that's what they wanted.
Yeah. Was
it the guy to the girl or the girl to the guy?
The girl.
Assuming it's male and female relationship.
Yeah, the woman could not stand his face.
The woman couldn't stand his face. Wow. I don't even know.
I don't know what he did.
I don't know what he did. No. You were talking on your last podcast about defining a relationship. I think that's danger. There's danger involved in that. Don't
Defining?
You? Yeah. Like,
oh,
somebody's dating for a couple of weeks and like, okay, what are we? What is this? Are we dating? Are we exclusive? Are we going to sleep together? I think that puts pressure on the relationship early on, don't you? Or
I definitely think so. I mean, everything has pacing, especially when you first start dating somebody. It has to go with the right pacing.
Yeah.
It cannot be too slow, right? You always need to have this connection, communication, appropriate communication, and you don't want to put too much pressure on the other person by texting them every day, right? So, and people are different. So your question is?
Defining.
Right.
Do you feel, I guess the question is, how much pressure do you feel like forcing
Defining.
a definition of a relationship puts on the relationship itself?
I think if you're seeing each other regularly for 2 months, I think it's a good time
Yeah.
to have a conversation, to check in where we are, like how we feel about each other, at least, right?
How serious is this?
Yeah. I think there's a...
Certainly you have a right.
Yes, you do.
In a relationship at any point in time to define it for yourself.
Yes.
But I think a lot of times what I see in young guys, and I've got, all you got to do to counsel a whole bunch of young guys in relationships is get old. Seems to be my main qualifier. But I have a friend of mine, we'll call him Bob. And I've been having a conversation with Bob about his most recent dating exploits. And he seems to, and Bob is in his late 30s, very good friend of mine. And the biggest challenge I see in the relationship is that he said that she doesn't text me back. I have to wait for days to hear from her. I don't want to play games. Like, I don't know if we're serious. Like, I've gone on 4 or 5 dates and I still can't read where I'm at with this thing. And I'm sitting there thinking, that's a great place for Bob to be. And Bob is terrified by that position because he can't handle the ambiguity and the uncertainty of not knowing where he stands with this gal. And I'm sitting there like, that's the fun part. That's the fun part, is where you don't know where things are and you're working through them. You know, if you really like somebody, that's fine. You put your best foot forward, put yourself out there, and if they don't,
come on, she's not interested.
Well, but they've been on 4 or 5 dates, and
anybody interested would not wait for days to reply.
Okay. So let's say she's texting. I mean, they're still dating, by the way. We're now 3 or 4 weeks into this, and they're going out a couple of nights a week, and she just is not a big texter. That's what she's communicated to.
I'm not a big
Bob.
texter, but I would text the people I really like, and I would make an effort to communicate properly.
Well, so that's one of the things that I found. Don't you find, I don't necessarily believe that people who text back right away,
I hate texting.
I don't necessarily think that is a sign of interest or not interest. I think it's more of a communication style than anything else. Well,
that's good. That's a good point. It could be. And all you need to say, hey, what's the best way do you feel comfortable with of
communicating?
Yeah, communicating.
Yeah. But I think talking about how you communicate is important, don't you?
Yeah.
I have friends of mine.
To have a clarity of it, yeah.
I have friends of mine that don't text me. Guy friends of mine that, I'm certainly not interested in dating them, but we're guy friends. We hang out. We keep in contact at different parts of the
They probably
world,
will call you
parts
directly.
Of the country. They'll call me directly or they text. And if they don't text me back, like, what are we going to talk about? You don't get back to me. But I'm also very highly active on text message. I would say, and I've gone through these numbers before, I probably have
Well, I'm just laughing because I have always suggested you write a book and the title of the book is Texts with Jeff.
Texts from Jeff.
It's just pictures of the bubbles. Yeah. And that's your whole book, is all the bubbles, because it's you share via text such valuable information.
Well, I'm pretty prolific over text message. Yes. I send long texts. I send them rapid fire. But the guys that I get along with the best, they don't care. Then maybe they read it, maybe they don't, but they always get back to me on stuff. And I would say I have somewhere between 275 and 350 guys that I text once a quarter or more. I text a lot of people, right?
Wow.
But I guess that's more than most. I remember one year it was like 850.
I love how engaging you are.
Oh, he's very engaging.
You must make people feel like you care about them a lot.
Boy, do I have you fooled. No, I'm just kidding. The thing is it's a kind of a joke that I made up, that my secret is I really, really care about people, and I try not to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know what? I'm the same way. Like
I really like people. All people.
I text people. I call people. Like I just do what I want to do when I feel like, we haven't been talking for a while.
Yeah,
I'll just
you'll
text.
reach out and you text them or you call them.
Yeah, I
don't
always
call people as much anymore.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's starting to be rude to call people unless you know them really, really well.
Anyone else who's watching who's like me, my responses to the paragraph texts will be like,
yep.
Or
thumbs up. Heart
or
emoji. Yeah.
we will have conversations and I will look at the timestamps on my phone of how long of the conversation. And it's like 1 minute, 10 second, 45 second, because I am just
you're not a phone. You're not a phone person.
Huge communicator, period. Like
you're a good communicator, but you're better, I think, in person.
In person, I like having coffee and sitting down and talking.
Yeah,
we can
that's
talk
so nice.
for hours. But
Yeah.
on the phone, now granted, I've got kids and family and like I'm busy, but so how do you not take offense? How are you in this situation if you were Bob and you were in a relationship potentially with somebody who just does this?
Me?
Like how do you not? I do that to you all the time. How am I?
Well,
is it just because
you.
we're married? Is it because you know me?
I know that
and
you're
you live
not
in the same house.
Yeah, but how do you not take offense? Because I know on a level you're really you're thinking out your paragraph text. You're putting time into it. You're editing it. You're scrubbing it. You're spending time to send it to me.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be rude and be I at least acknowledge it by giving you a thumbs up.
Yeah.
But I don't mirror the energy.
I think
how do you not take offense at that?
I have so many tens upon if I look at the data in text messages, it's like 60 gigs.
I know.
So
how is it you live your life not
storage
taking
of text messages over
You're
the last
crazy.
10 years?
How is it that you live your life not taking offense at someone like me? It's because of how well you know me, right? I guess.
think that's just his personality.
I think a lot of it's a function of personality. I'm pretty vocal.
I'm the same. It's okay. It doesn't bother me if somebody did not reply for a few days. It will eventually apply to me too. It's no big deal.
Be an interesting.
So then perhaps Bob just doesn't know her well enough.
I think the truth is
Well, what's the truth? Let's talk about the truth.
Understand if he's giving her if she by not responding is how he should be interpreting that.
I don't know. Does she?
He probably doesn't know her well enough.
Does she have a kid or something? Keeps her busy.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that she just doesn't communicate a lot. Mm-hmm. And he is very uncomfortable with ambiguity. And I think that one of the things I've noticed one of the things that this year has been, the last 12 months has been a tremendous amount of ambiguity and uncertainty in my life. I've literally gone from changing jobs at Oracle to I changed to another software company called and we'll have to cut that, by the way, Andrew. Cut that out because I'm not at anymore, and I can't talk about names. When I think about it, that's the thing I see missing with the 25 to 40-year-old guys, to where it's like their masculinity has been stripped by just wrong thinking, wrong narrative, and this thought that they feel like they're not ever supposed to live with ambiguity or uncertainty in their life. And it's like most of life is ambiguous and has uncertainty
from
in it.
Andrew previously,
life is fraught with uncertainty. There's really no such thing as certainty. I mean, the sun's going to come up tomorrow and the sun's going to go down. But other than that, not a whole lot other than principles, basic principles are anything that can be counted upon. And yet, I think because young men are not studying principles the way they could be, they don't feel like they have a leg to stand on, and they lose that masculine center as a result. And I see that in the young ladies in my daughter's generation, the 25 to 35-year-old category.
Wow.
I keep hearing the same cry from those women, which is, where are the men?
Yeah. And also, society has not been helpful. All these men, really everybody, they're a lot of them at a wrong platform location to observe information. And how is that helping?
You asked earlier about what did you ask? You asked both of us to answer the thing that drives us crazy or the thing that is the most unattractive thing about a man.
I would not have asked you that. No.
What did you ask? What was the question?
I asked you if there was one thing that you could say, I wish they would do or wish they wouldn't
would do or wouldn't do. Okay, well.
Before you finish that thought, that is our 5 minutes till 4 o'clock. So in the interest of time, if you want to stay a little bit longer, no rush to get out of here.
I'm not in a rush. Do you have a hard stop?
No, I love this conversation.
Okay, good. We're having fun.
I would like to, if I could, offer the thing that I think bothers me the most that I would like somebody not to do.
Okay.
And you're very good at this, so I'm not going to say that I'm
you
not
can talk
pointing.
shit. I don't care.
I'm not pointing the finger at you.
It doesn't bother me.
In a relationship is the lack of confidence. And I will say so far as while you bring up and you put masculine center to it, I think
from the guy's perspective,
I
right?
recognize that, but I also think that has become, whether you're masculine or feminine, whether you're there's this whole term for it, has become almost a trigger word because masculine has become something perceived as potentially negative and very harsh.
Yes.
Now, what I'm going to do is
by the way, if people are listening to this podcast and they're offended by me talking about masculinity, they should probably not listen to it.
But I recognize that. But what I'm saying is even more than masculinity is confidence. And I don't want to see you be a man because I am so anti-label. I hate labels. I don't want anybody living in a box. I don't want somebody to tell me I'm a woman as much as I don't want somebody to tell me I can't be a woman. I want it let's remove women, let's remove man from how you're going to perceive me, because I could write a book with people have been doing it for hundreds of years. They're using sworn names under exactly. Let's not look at the box. I want to know how confident you are in the decisions that you're going to make. And somebody who lacks confidence is so off-putting. Yeah. I want to know that if you're going to take 101 home, you're confident that 101 is going to get you home. So much so that if you have to take a detour, you're still confident that you're going to get home.
You know what's wild
because it's
about
the confidence, in my opinion, that supersedes whether you're masculine, whether you're feminine, whether you're X, whether you're Y, whether you're whatever. And I think that all of these labels and all of these things that people are so intent and so desire to, I need to be identified, could just all go away with confidence and being able to really know who you are and know about the decisions that you're making. The thing that was the most attractive to me about you when we first met was you said, I'm broke. That was a confident statement. You said, I don't have any money. That was another confident statement. But you said, but I know a place where we can go that I can get you a drink. And the confidence, I wasn't looking at whether you were a guy, whether you were a girl, whether you were strong and you're masculine centered. That didn't come off as being machismo or masculine to me. That came off as being confident. And the fact that you were confident at 20 years old and you were confident that you were going someplace, you're going to take me out on a date. And you were not, come hell or high water, whether you had money or not, was so attractive. And the thing that pulled me beyond, it made me feel feminine. It made me feel cared for and loved for because you were making a decision that was confident and I could follow that. And so I guess if I was just to encourage anyone, or if I was to answer about because it can be a trigger word, masculine center, all this stuff.
Yeah, and I do understand
and all
what
that.
you're trying to do for the people that are weak and triggered by things like masculinity, or
But
femininity.
I'm just saying that even above being masculine or feminine, confidence is, in my opinion, the most attractive trait that anyone can have. And I think your friend Bob lacks confidence.
Oh,
and I think
interesting.
that he is lacking personal confidence. And
I think it
that
is,
coming
but
out
what's
of
amazing
COVID,
is
I think
I've
that-
seen him when he didn't lack confidence.
Yeah, and it
was
probably a badass rock star.
It was
too.
awesome to see. And what's funny that you say that, because to me, I don't think guys look at women and say, I just want to see a confident woman. Not that we don't, but it seems to me a very feminine trait to say, I want the person that I'm attracted to or interested in to be confident. That
I
seems
think
to
that
me
if
a
you
very
took-
confident
if you,
thing.
If you saw a woman who was not confident and you've stood her next to a woman who was confident, there will be an immediate attention to attraction.
I think what
Yeah.
you're saying is very true. And to be honest with you, I think the women who don't have confidence are not seen. I think they're invisible.
That is true. I would agree with that.
So,
So what do you have to say? What do you think?
Well, I think that's a really valid angle you bring out for people to really reflect, beyond all the labels. I do think being confident really speaks of a person, an individual, just the right amount of confident, right?
Not egotistical, but confident.
And man being confident is very attractive. I think, a man will stands higher chance of being very successful if this guy is confident, knowing himself, knowing where he is, knowing where he's going, confidence. And a woman being confident, in a quiet way, knowing herself. It doesn't have to be loud, to be all over the place, to be like, oh, I'm a CEO type of confident. It doesn't need to be that. Just knowing who you are is a confidence. And you can feel that energy when you're dealing with people, interacting with people. And that builds connection, to be honest.
Yeah.
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 And I think that's probably the first step.
Yeah.
What do you notice? I'm fascinated by this. I'm always fascinated. Jessica and I have almost all of our people that we spend time with, all of our friends, really fit into 4 categories. And it's the same 4 categories over and over and over. And it's literally people of color, immigrants, entrepreneurs, and professional athletes.
Oh, okay.
Those 4
Fun.
groups.
Which all require a huge amount of confidence.
A huge amount of confidence and mental
And
mental
self-awareness.
toughness,
Yeah,
like getting the narrative
self-awareness.
right in your mind, taking really good care of yourself.
Yes.
Being an athlete, you got to take care of yourself. Being an entrepreneur, you have to take care of yourself, because you can't just be an entrepreneur for 3 months or 6 months. You have to be able to go for years without income, without big hits, big exits, raising capital, constantly dealing with stress, managing fires, being an immigrant, especially an immigrant from China, because the language is so different, the culture is so different. Even in Silicon Valley, where you have a really strong Chinese constituency, it's still a foreign country, foreign currency, foreign customs, foreign language, foreign food, foreign science, foreign everything. And so I'm fascinated by people who come to the U.S. from countries that are as different from the U.S. as China is, to see give me like 3 smart things about the difference that you see between Chinese men and the amalgamation of men from all over the world who find their way to the U.S.
Can you rephrase that question?
Yeah. Chinese,
What's the difference?
the Chinese
or-
culture, as I understand it, the country, the money, the food, the customs, the language, the signage, the architecture is very homogenous, right? It's not that everybody's the same, but the gene pool suggests everybody's pretty close. It's like you don't have a mix of a whole bunch of different races. You have Chinese people and that's it.
Yes.
For the most part.
Chinese man, Chinese man, Chinese woman, Chinese woman.
Yeah. So from that, I would love to know, and American men, American men is different because you're going to have Latin American men. You're going to have people
Scottish,
from
Irish.
Cambodia and Scotland and
People
Europe.
in
and
East Coast, people in West Coast.
absolutely different.
North, South, yeah.
But what would you say are some of the traits that you know for sure that you saw in Chinese men, but that you either see or don't see in guys here in the U.S.?
Oh, of course. Yes, I can say that. Chinese men stand up for people they care about, for their friends and family, their women. Stand up.
Okay.
They protect. Yeah, they are proud to be that way. And over here, it's too much arguing between man and woman. Even in relationship, it's like you or me. But Chinese men, yeah, they man up.
They man up. Yeah, they cowboy up in
Yeah,
China.
they don't even talk about it. They just deal with get shit down. You know, it's
Yeah.
solve problems.
Yeah, I can see that.
And one thing I didn't have written down, but I had thought about it. When you have the quota for only one, you can only have one baby for decades, which I know they changed the law a number of years ago. But now we see kind of the result. It seems that you have massive imbalance of men who are millionaire, billionaire, very successful, but there aren't as many women of marrying age. Is that starting to shift because of the change of the laws, or is it still very imbalanced to where you have way more men than available women?
It's a really interesting dynamic. Yes. However, women also struggles to find the person they want to be with, and they have to marry down.
They have to marry down?
Yeah.
Why would they have to marry down if there's a shortage of women?
Mostly depend on where you are. I think the problem starts with big cities. In the big cities, in Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, even second-tier cities like Hangzhou, right? Women are, it could be similar dynamic going on, similar situation, because women are more educated, more driven and successful.
Yep.
And they're also cute, nice looking, stylish. And
I would think that women in China, if they're, ambitious, take care of themselves, somewhat successful, could have any guy they want.
Yeah.
It seems that way to me.
Yeah, and they will dream to be with guy that, great, right?
Yeah.
But however, reality is, is there not enough guys like that? Men are... Yeah. I think this topic is a little too complex.
Maybe.
It's not as simple as just like that.
It's not just a numbers conversation.
Yeah, and but that's the reality. It's happening today in China. It's very challenging for women, even though number of men are.
And when you say challenging, I really want to hold our attention on that so that I can so I can understand what is challenging. Is it the disparity of power, male to female?
I think quality, just like women cannot meet the quality of the man they want to get married to.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have to select.
I wish I could tell you that problem was only in China.
Yeah.
That problem seems to be rampant here in the U.S. as well. And I think that at least from what I've seen, just being part of the culture and being in and around big companies with lots of people who are now much younger than I am, it seems like women's expectations are just crazy.
Well, I think, yes. I think expectation is a general issue all over the places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, not to be in defense of men, but I think there's an imbalance there because I think men are like, I don't really expect that much. Just be nice to me. Be nice, take care of yourself, and show up on time.
Are you saying men have low expectations?
I just think the expectations that guys have is much simpler. And I think women have gotten...
Well, it's in our very spiritual DNA. It's in our very makeup to take seed and want to turn it into a garden, to take wheat and want to bake bread. Like, we're thinking of families. We're thinking of establishing. We're thinking of homes. Yeah. We're thinking...
Take money, turn it into a house.
Exactly.
Take a house, turn it into a home.
And men are thinking of, food, grunt, lunch, dinner. And while it can be that way, it was that, in my opinion, it was designed that way on purpose. But like what we've been talking about and what I've seen as like a 30,000 feet point of view down is the pandemic, and that situation had such, at the time we weren't seeing it as such long-term ramifications, but we're still
the pandemic was a big
dealing with such a lack of confidence. I mean, the entire world lost their confidence in the banking system, are we going to be able to have toilet paper? And so when you're working to rebuild
I remember
that ability to trust, when you as a whole people, as a population, we're working to rebuild trust. We're working to rebuild expectations. We're working to rebuild. I mean, I see it in my own children, having had children, my oldest being 28 and my youngest being 8, and having all the kids in between. Thank God we had homeschooled and we had this situation. We were sheltering in place long before we were forced to shelter in place. But I'm seeing with the people that they see that just this immense lack of confidence, this immense lack of trust. And it's not, if anybody could just hopefully take a break from taking it so personal and just recognize that as a whole population, we're all having to rebuild from a point of just being totally wiped clean of who we can believe, who we can trust. Politicians aren't trustworthy. Like the grocery store's not like nobody. And then having to little by little, like you said, like watch your expectations. Like don't expect too much. Like let's just build things back.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you can't build a great relationship.
But we should be able to come out of this stronger,
but,
and it's just going to take more time, and it's going to patience. Got to be patient.
That's
I think that what you're doing is so valuable because you're helping people rebuild relationships coming out of what you firsthand experienced coming over here.
So let's do this too. I want to make sure people can find you. If you have content, media, how can we find? Do you have a website? Do you have a podcast that you can refer us to?
Yeah, people can find.
Where are you? How do we find you?
Well, I'm all over the places. If you type in Tongalag or Tongalag Liu, you will be able to find me on X, Instagram.
How do you spell? Let's just for those listeners who may not be able to see you articulate.
Andrew can put it up on the screen.
And we'll put it up on the screen. But,
my name's spelled as Tongalag Liu, Tongalag Liu.
Tongalag Liu. Okay.
Yeah, and you can find my podcast everywhere. It's called the Dating Chit with CHIT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for being a part of the Jeff Heilman Project. This is episode 151. If Andrew, can you attest to that, Andrew?
Yep.
That's 151 podcasts that we've done, not including daily reels for the last 3 years.
We're coming up on 903 videos, I think, on our
903 videos on the website. So it's, we're starting to get some momentum from just pure volume of content. And we've only had one other female guest on the show. We don't have guests every week. We've probably had 20 or 30 guests, but they're almost exclusively men, with the exception, I think, of Michelle Trail. Is there any other female guests that we've had?
No.
Not that I think of.
No,
I don't think so. You've literally, Andrew, thank you for your recommendation of T, bringing her in. You've literally doubled the number of female guests we've had on our show, which is fantastic.
Do you have a single audience?
I think most of our audience is single men under the age of 35.
Really?
Is pretty much.
I should have briefed you guys earlier. I'm developing a dating application.
A dating app? Okay.
I have a wait list. I can get people signed
That's
on.
great. Well, go ahead and go to the Dating Chit or to your website.
To heartsyncapp.com, which is heartsync, SYNC,
Okay.
app.com.
And you can find that in the link below that Angel will put in during the editing.
Yeah.
And if you have questions that you want to ask, please send them in and we'll make sure that we get back to you and answer.
Yes.
I think that dating is really an important part of adult life from a fiscal responsibility perspective. Two can live more cheaply than one. From an emotional perspective, from a romance perspective, and, you know, obviously reproduction, long-term marriage, right? Long-term plans and building a family. But I think that dating is I think it's an important skill. I think that it can teach us a lot about how to deal with uncertainty and ambiguity. And I appreciate, as a fellow care provider in the community, the work that you're doing with your clients. And
dating builds confidence.
And dating absolutely builds confidence. Thanks for being with us, everybody. We've enjoyed this episode of the Jeff Heilman Project. Please tune in next week. And don't forget to like and subscribe on our channel. Thanks again for being with us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.